Action in raising awareness of disasters affecting the region. The region has been facing challenges from increasing disasters, some resulting from climate change. Chapter Boyd with the details.
What might be the reason behind the recent security breach at the maximum prison?
This is a question that we're supposed to be asking the government, because KAMITI is not just another prison.
All right, apologies for the mix-up, but our broadcast begins with some polls where Deputy President William Ruto took his campaign trail set to Embu County for the second day as he popularizes his bottom-up economic model. Ruto has cautioned Kenyans against being divided on political and tribal lines, while purporting that his United Democratic Alliance is the national outfit. Our very own Flora Limuki with more.
Deputy President William Ruto is on his charm offensive to the mountain region for the sixth day, accompanied by several members of parliament from the region, as he boasts the support of at least 150 MPs countrywide.
Wabunge 156 tumekubaliana ya kwamba ni lazima tuunganishe Kenya kwa chama ya kitaifa ambayo iko na uwezo wa kuunda serikali mwaka ujao.
The second in command says that the United Democratic Alliance UDA will unite the country, as he railed the residents of Embu County to emulate the party. At the same time, his allies have criticized the upcoming Jubilee house cleaning, saying that the party no longer exists.
Tukamwambia hii mtu ya kitendawili umeleta kwa serikali yako ataharibu Jubilee. Ameharibu ama hajaribu?
Nyinyi tunawaambia muache kiburi. Mlifukuza sisi. Sasa Jubilee ile tunajua ni ile inauza bima inaitwa Jubilee Insurance. Na ile ingine ni ile inatengeneza chakula ya nguruwe inaitwa Jubilee Feeds. Ile ilikuwa chama ilisambaratika na tukasahau. Watu wasiakabe.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i came under attack for the second day, as leaders accused him of laxity in his security docket while focusing on politics.
Sio magaidi wanatoroka kwa jela, ni ufisadi yenye iko kwa ofisi ya rais inafanya magaidi wafunguliwe, waende nje, wasumbue wananchi. Na ndio maana tulisema na tunaendelea kusema, kama mambo ya ugaidi itaisha, kama mambo ya insecurity itaisha, ni lazima waziri na katibu mkuu kwa ofisi ya rais waache na wakomeshe ile ufisadi wako nayo kwa ofisi ya rais.
Ruto is now looking at rejuvenating the Big Four agenda, which he says was hijacked by the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Flora Limuki, Switch TV.
All right, thank you, Flora Limuki. Elsewhere, over the last few days, there has been a heightened security situation in the country and the region at large. Kenya has particularly been on high alert, especially after 3 dangerous terrorists escaped from the highly protected KAMITI maximum prison on Monday morning, prompting the president to make drastic changes in the prisons department. The situation has, however, caused a number of questions about the government's preparedness in matters security. Is there more that meets the eye? Our reporter Daniela Nunda had a sit-down with a security analyst, George Musamali, and prepared the following story.
What might be the reason behind the recent security breach at the maximum prison?
This is a question that we're supposed to be asking the government, because KAMITI is not just another prison. We have categories of prisons in this country. We have low security prison, we have medium security prison, and we have maximum security prisons. And the security arrangements in all these 3 categories are different. The security measures are different. The facilities, the equipment that is used to secure these institutions are different. When you talk about a maximum security prison, we have 3 layers of security. We have the outer cordon, the inner cordon, the outer cordon, the second cordon, and then the inner cordon. So for a prisoner, especially a convicted terrorist, to walk out of this kind of institution then it means we have serious security breaches, serious security gaps that need to be addressed urgently. I heard about omissions by the wardens, but I don't believe that is the problem. Because if it's about laxity and omissions, we have other hardcore criminals. We have people on the death sentence. We have people who have been imprisoned in life. They could have taken advantage of this and walked out. I see two things. Number one, infiltration by the enemy, whereby we have insiders that are working with the terror group that helped in planning and executing this escape. Number two, and this has been a cancer in this country for a very, very long time, corruption. Money must have exchanged hands to facilitate the escape of these three terror convicts. And we've been talking about this, and we are not looking at it only at the prisons. There's a UN report that said even police manning roadblocks along the borders, the Kenya-Somali border, are being bribed to allow weapons to cross the border and get into the country. So these two must have been in play at committee for it to be possible for these three to escape. This escape needed elaborate planning, and it needed financial support. It needed financing. Who has the capacity to do that? It was not planned yesterday, it was not planned the other day. It took months for this to be planned, and it needs resources. So who has that kind of resource?
Is the change of guard at the helm of the prisons a solution or a mitigating factor to the current situation that we're facing right now?
That's a knee-jerk reaction by the government, because the public was out there. There was a public outcry. Something needs to be done. And I've always said that we should copy from the Japanese. Somebody should take responsibility for this kind of breaches. Yeah? Somebody should have fallen on his sword. Not only the Commission of Prison, we have a minister in charge of prisons in this country. We have the CS. Were they making periodic visits to that facility? Were we doing periodic threat and risk assessments at the facilities? Probably we were not. Yeah? And somebody noticed these gaps, used those gaps to arrange the escape of these two. So even the change of guard is not enough, not unless we look at what happened, do a proper threat and risk analysis, and make sure that all the gaps that have been identified from there, are covered. And we make sure that any person that was involved in planning and executing the escape is brought to book. When we have dangerous people like those terrorists in an institution, then we should always be checking at our systems. Things change. We should always be checking at what we had. What we had security-wise, what we had yesterday can be irrelevant today. And that is why I'll give an example of the 90s. When we had the likes of Koigi or Mwere in KAMITI, the GSU were deployed there to assist the prisons department take care of those persons that were considered then dangerous to the security of this country.
Now, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. It is a situation that is ongoing, and you have to take action and make sure that you're safe, and at the same time, be aware of your surrounding to be and feel safe, and report any incident that is unfamiliar to the nearest police station. Reporting for Switch TV, I'm Daniel Anunda.
Thank you, Daniel Anunda, for that candid interview with George Msamali. Still on matter security, but regionally, where security forces in Uganda have shot dead a Muslim cleric accused of working with an armed group linked to the suicide bombing in the capital Kampala. As officials said, Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Kirevu had recruited for cells run by allies of the Democratic Forces rebels who have pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, as our reporter Daniel Kariuki now reports.
Officials from the Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Kirevu had recruited for cells run by the Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebels who have pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group. He was killed just outside Kampala. At least 4 people were killed by attackers on motorbikes who blew themselves up in the city on Tuesday. More than 30 others were injured in the attack, which IC said it was behind, and officials have blamed on the ADF. The Islamist militant ADF was formed in Uganda in the 1990s, but is now based in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since pledging allegiance to the ISIS in 2019, it has increasingly carried out attacks in the group's name. 21 people have been arrested since Tuesday's attack in what police have described as the dismantling of ADF terrorist cells in Kampala and across the country. A manhunt is also underway for another cleric, Sheikh Suleiman Subwaga, who is accused of training terrorists, radicalizing potential recruits and providing materials to make improvised explosive devices. Tuesday's attack was the latest in a number of recent bomb explosions in Kampala. The bombings on Tuesday marked the biggest attack the ADF had been linked to in Uganda since establishing relations with ISIS. Daniel Kariuki for Switch TV News.
Let's now get to the politics of the day, where Deputy President William Ruto is the most preferred presidential candidate with 38%, a drop of 15 from last month, followed closely by ODM party leader Raila Odinga with 23%, a significant gain of 8%, according to polls released by TIFA. Our very own Mariam Jahid with more.
A study commissioned by an African-based full market research firm revealed that Deputy President William Ruto had lost 1% in terms of being the most preferred presidential candidate. ODM party leader Raila Odinga comes second at 23%, a rise by 15% in June. ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi comes in third with 2%, followed by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka at 1%. TIFA has also indicated that UDA's popularity has increased from 21% in June, when ODM's preference was reported at 9%. The governing Jubilee Party's preference plummeted from 40% in June 2020, 34% in December 2020, and 8% in June 2021 to settle at 5% in November. However, as of now, no political party or alliance attracts the support of more than one-third of Kenyans. However, as of now, no political party or alliance attracts the support of more than one-third of Kenyans. However, an estimated 40% of the respondents did not identify with any political party. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i and Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua have been identified as the most promising upcoming leaders in the country, with Martha Karua holding position 6 with 3%. At least 48% Kenyans assume that the head of state Uhuru Kenyatta prefers Raila Odinga as his successor, with 9% suggesting Uhuru may shortchange Raila and choose Ruto. Unlike Ruto, who has indicated that he will be in the race to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta, the ODM boss will December 9 announce whether he will be a candidate in the next year's polls or not. On the other side, One Kenya Alliance principals have more work to do before they match their counterparts' popularity. The study, sponsored by TIFA, was carried out between 7th and 13th November 2021, had a total of 1,519 respondents from Central Rift, Coast, Lower Eastern, Mount Kenya, Nairobi, Northern, Nyanza, South Rift, and Western regions. Reporting for Switch, I'm Mariam Mjahid.
Thank you, Mariam Jahid, for that story. It takes us to 12 minutes past the hour. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we do have more news lined up for you. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Breaking Today, of course, taking into account the latest news which have made headlines this Friday. Let's continue where Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology held its annual Tech Innovation Expo, which ended today. Our very own David Kagina was there and will be highlighting some of the most outstanding innovation at the expo. On today's highlight, he focuses on a mini tractor motorbike that is meant to offer tilling solutions to small-scale farmers, enhancing efficiency and productivity at an affordable cost. Let's take a look.
Now, with most innovations comes the desire to solve a problem in the society. With me right here is a mini tractor motorcycle. And joining me is the innovator, the man and the brains behind this project. Maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us what problem were you trying to solve with this innovation?
Yes, my name is Jefferson Kitabe. I'm pursuing strategic management. The mini tractor is an invention we came up with my friends, Peter Nzioki and Ian Mutisia. Our bike is modified for the purpose of adaptability and high power output that will enable small-scale farmers to actually do small-scale farming activities at their land and cut short the time that they need to farm.
So this one is coming to replace the tractor for the small-scale farmers?
Yes, that is the point. We are looking for a cheap alternative that is going to be suitable for all small Kenyan farmers. How we're going to improve on the cost and reduce on the time that they need to till land.
That is quite a huge task for a normal motorbike. So what are some of the adjustments that you've done to your bike?
Yes, so as you can see, we have disc brakes instead of the normal disc cylinders you'll find on motorbikes. We have improved the intake and exhaust valves in the bike. We have also mounted a racing exhaust with carbon fiber endings to reduce noise pollution. Now we've also worked on improving the torque and the compression ratio. Modern standard bicycles, not bicycles, motorbikes have a 9.61 ratio, and ours works at 11.5.1 ratio.
Okay, and I also see your shock absorber is quite different from the normal bike?
Yes, we're using a single racing monoshock for the bike. It reduces the light and increases the power output for the bike too, and stabilize it during farming activities.
Well, the farm is quite messy in terms of soil and terrain.
Yes.
Are the wheels different?
The wheels? The wheels, yes. The wheels are different. As you can see, we're working with 5 to 6 millimeter inch tires for the rear and also the front too, to increase better traction for the bike.
Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. And that is quite a problem-solving innovation right there. I'm David Kagina. That's all for today.
And of course, he is the producer of this particular broadcast. To some other news now, where Africa has conducted the 8th Africa Regional Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction in Kenya with an aim of creating awareness, raising awareness over the disasters affecting the region. The region has been facing challenges from increasing disasters, some resulting from climate change, as Chepto Boit now reports.
The 8th African Regional Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction and 7th High-Level Meeting Platform is aimed at raising awareness of the critical disaster risk reduction challenges of the region, with Kenya now appointed a chair of the Bureau, expected to sit for 2 years. Speaking today at the high-level meeting, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i has said that Kenya is committed towards working with other African countries in making disaster-informed developments.
I'd like to pledge our commitment to do our part to ensure that this platform advances the cause of ensuring our preparation to reduce disaster and its risks within the region.
According to a forthcoming Africa Regional Assessment Report 2020, during the decade 2008 to 2018, 157 million people were directly and indirectly affected by disasters, and in most cases natural disasters.
We will focus on the decisions that have been made before, the resolutions and the declarations from Sendai and from the previous meetings, and ensure that we provide all our support towards disaster risk reduction on the continent.
Africa is now facing a significant challenge from the increasing disaster risks and changing risk landscape resulted from climate change and other disaster hazards. Chepto Boit, Switch TV.
Thank you, Chepto Boit. Now, elsewhere, the National Police Service Commission, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and the Inspector Chief of Police, has today launched a medical assessment exercise where police officers who have been injured in their line of duty can report, as well as a body to handle it, which is now calling upon police officers to partake in the exercise. Let's listen in.
It has been established that at least 200 police officers in every 1,400 are suffering from mental stress, according to findings of a research done on why police officers are killing their partners and committing suicide. Speaking in Meru County today, the National Police Service Commissioner, Chairman Eliud Kinothia, has called upon police officers who have had problems or injured on the line of duty to seek help, assuring them that they should not be worried about losing their jobs.
Tungetaka kupitia ya hii report tujue ni maafisa wangapi ambao wanaishi na hali ya kusongwa na mawazo hapa Meru, ili tuweze kuintervene mapema na kuwapa ushauri wa kutosha ili wasifikie kiwango cha kukata tamaa. Na pamoja na hao madaktari, tuko na wataalamu wa counseling, tuko na social worker, na tuko pia na motivation speakers ambao wanaweza kukuletea hope.
Stress, depression and disability, among other diseases, have been attributed to the heavy workload currently being experienced by the law enforcers.
Kazi ambayo wanafanya wakati mwingi huenda wakakutana na janga, na tumeweza kupatana na polisi wengi sana ambao wameathirika na janga tofauti tofauti, wanashinda wakiona zile picha ama wahuzunika. Hiyo inaitwa post traumatic stress disorder. Hiyo tumeiona kwa wingi. Jambo la pili ni depression, na depression ni ile hali ya kusikia uko huna furaha, huna matumaini ya maisha, na pia tumeona kwa wingi sana. Na la nne tumeona likiwa kwa wingi ni matumizi ya pombe, na najua watu wengi wanashangaa kwani kutumia pombe ni ugonjwa. Ningependa jamii ijue leo kuwa ni ukweli, kutumia pombe na dawa za kulevya ni ugonjwa wa akili.
Daktari ya mental amesema hii kazi iko na a lot of stress, so lifestyle diseases ina contribute quite a bit in the disability of some of the officers.
The body is meant to identify the number of police officers experiencing such challenges while assisting them to seek help and advice from the right channels. For Switch TV, my name is Chris Wambua.
Thank you, Chris Wambua, for that story. Now, statistics by the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, says 42 billion people worldwide lack access to basic toilet facilities. Our reporter Sharon Nyoike tells us why there is need to create awareness on the significance of sanitation and reaffirm the fact that privacy to use a toilet is a basic human right.
With the modern architectural development in Kenya, a toilet still remains a priority under each construction project.
Today is about valuing toilets. And one might ask, who's valuing these toilets? We've just seen that 5 million people in Kenya have no toilet. So those are the people who really value a toilet. They need it. Right?
In Kenya, an estimated 5 million people still practice open defecation in public. This posing one of the biggest threats to the health of the people, especially in densely populated areas. Open defecation and long queues at the public washrooms, forcing the young people to advocate for construction of more public toilets within Nairobi city.
I think wanaweza fanya improvement, maybe kukuwe na more chores in town, because especially unaweza pata like kulala ili mrefu sana, which is na zinaweza kuwa pia zinanuka, especially kama kuna watu wengi huko, so like kunafaa kuongezwa maybe zikuwe at more convenient locations.
Sasa hizi choo hazisaidia sana, lakini sasa shida ni ziko limited, ziko kidogo.
The commercialization of washrooms have greatly improved George's life as a toilet manager. His is to help with ensuring that the public toilets are clean, healthy and comfortable for its users.
Unajua sasa tumechukulia hii kazi ya choo ikiwa profession, lakini nasema ni ya kwamba inalisha jamii, inapata kula at least na kujidumu kimaisha.
According to UNICEF, 1 gram of human fecal excretion contains 10 million viruses, 1 million bacteria, 1,000 parasitic cysts, and 100 parasite eggs. Therefore, advising people to wash their hands with soap and water after every toilet visit so as to prevent pinworm infections. Construction of toilets helps in reducing the number of infections and public defecation cases, despite the belief the poor sanitation only affects poverty-stricken areas.
A toilet, a necessity that we all have to use at the end of the day. The government of Kenya works on improving the sanitation state in Kenya and reducing the number of people defecating in public. As we mark the World's Toilet Day today, we need to give priority to toilet sanitation. As you say, cleanliness is next to godliness. Sharon Yeke, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Let's now get sporty, where former Harambee Stars coach Jacob MULEE has questioned the caretaker committee formed by CS Amina to run football affairs in Kenya. According to MULEE, caretakers should be people who understand football because it is the stakeholders who understand how the game is run and how it works. Former Harambee Stars coach has called on the government and Football Kenya Federation to reach a consensus so as to evade an imminent FIFA ban.
We have seen previously the government cracking the whip on football, and what has happened, FIFA ban looming, and we have seen it's not the first time that it has happened. So I think a lot of people who are going to suffer if this ban comes is the real stakeholders, with the players, the referees, the administrators of the game. The institutions should stay intact and move. The league has been stopped now for 2 weeks. In my head, I'm thinking, who is the new secretariat to run the league? Are we starting afresh? I don't think it's the right thing to do. Seriously.
Elsewhere, Kenya Sevens forward Alvin Bufa Otieno has been named the LG Sports Journalists Association of Kenya SJAC Sports Personality of the month of October. Otieno, popularly known as Bufa, nicknamed from the Buffalo due to his power in tackling, was awarded with a UHD LG 55-inch smart TV worth 105,000. Bufa opened the scoring for Shujaa in the final against Germany as Kenyan side went on to win 12-15 and make sure the title remained in the country, with the defending champions Morans having beaten in the 5 semis.
At least nimerudi back strong, and na appreciate nimefika hii place nimefika so far, and shukuru LG na shukuru SJAC for this. We've been having this partnership with SJAC, and LG is very passionate about the continuity of this partnership because through it we've been nurturing new talents, young players, and it's been a source of motivation.
And definitely next week you'll be seeing more of Bufa in the Dubai rugby series. But let's stick with rugby matters, where Kabra Sugar, Kevin Wekesa, and Antonio Mondi from Mwamba are set for their debuts in the World Rugby 7 Series during the opening leg of the 2021-2022 season in Dubai in November 26th to 27th. Nelson Oyo captains the side that also includes the likes of Alvin Bufa Otieno, Johnson Olindi, and Herman Humwa in their ranks. Coach Innocent Simiyu, commenting on the squad selection, says that they are looking at how to improve their team execution in the quest to attain great targets.
Played well, he slaps it back. It falls to Fiji. Play Unzikul. Oh, the drama. The big guy's through. Is he going to get there? You betcha!
All right, more rugby news. The squad has been selected today, and Nelson Oyo will be captaining the team. Herman Humwa, Alvin Otieno, Johnson Olindi, Levia Munga, Billy Odhiambo, Daniel Tabu, Tonio Mondi, Bush Mwale, Jeff Oloch, Alvin Marube, Edmond Anya, Timothy, Masi Wekesa, Kelvin, and of course the coach will be Innocent Simiyu. Now, to some TONG-IL-MOO-DO matters, where Kenya will this weekend select members of the national team who will defend the country's title at the Mombasa Open TONG-IL-MOO-DO Martial Arts Championship, which is set for 18th to 19th. Kenya TONG-IL-MOO-DO Federation President Clarence Mokio said the 8th time defending champions, Team Jasiri, will comprise players aged between 8 to 55 years old from at least 8 martial arts categories. Participants will also tour the best tourism destinations in the country, which the country can offer so far. And at least 25 countries have confirmed availability to this championship. All right, and that story brings us to 32 minutes past the hour. Real quick to some of your feedback. Tash Toto Tundu 2, thank you. You're saying that you are watching our news. Vincent Ogutu, Rono Bernardo, Calvin Mutsotso, Esther Maina, Ben Wamacha, and of course Moas, you're saying you are watching Breaking Today. And that's all we had for you this evening. Let's do this tomorrow, same time, same place. I've been your host, Clifford Duby. And Teresia Washira has been our sign language interpreter. Producer has been David Kagina. And of course, Abuga has been my director. Let's meet tomorrow at exactly 1 p.m. to 1:30. Then later in the day, 4:30 to 6:30 for Sports Finale.